I want you to imagine something. You're 8 years old. It's a dark autumn evening. You're sitting at the dinner table with your brother and sister laughing, eating, completely at ease. And then something shifts. You can't explain it, but every hair on your body stands up. And when you look up at the window, there's a man standing outside, staring directly at you, in the dark. This is my story, and I've never forgotten it. I'm 25 years old now, but what I'm about to tell you happened when I was 8, and it is still, without question, the most terrifying thing I have ever experienced in my life. I grew up in a small town in Scotland, a quiet, peaceful place, the kind of neighborhood where you know your neighbors, where kids play outside until it gets dark, and where nothing bad ever really happens. Or so we thought. Our house sat on the edge of town, right next to some woods, beautiful in the daytime, a completely different story at night. We had a big back garden, about 25 meters long, and at the very end of it was a gate that opened into a small field. Beyond that field were the woods, dense, dark, and deep. Because our house was built on a slope, we had a raised wooden decking area at the back. You had to climb a few steps to get up to it. From there, a glass door led directly into our kitchen. The kitchen was open plan, connected to the dining room. Big windows, lots of visibility from outside. That detail matters. Remember it. It was sometime between 9 and 10 at night. Summer had just ended and autumn was creeping in. The evenings were getting darker earlier. There was that kind of cold, still air outside that makes you glad to be indoors. My mom was out at a friend's house. My dad was at the front of the house chopping wood for the fire. So it was just the three of us, me, my twin brother, and my younger sister, sitting at the dining table eating a Chinese takeaway. One of our favorite treats as kids. We were chatting, laughing, completely relaxed. And then it hit me. That feeling. You know that feeling? When something just feels wrong? When the air in a room changes and your body reacts before your brain even catches up? 1 second everything was normal. The next second I had goosebumps crawling up both arms and across the back of my neck. I looked up at the window. The blinds were down but tilted open so you could see through them if you looked at the right angle. At first I just saw darkness outside, and then my eyes adjusted, and I saw him, a tall man, standing on our decking, completely still, staring in at us. My brain genuinely refused to process it for a second. I told myself it must be my dad. It must be a shadow. It must be something else. Anything else. But it wasn't. There was a stranger standing outside our house in the dark, watching 3 children eat their dinner. I froze. Then something took over. Some instinct I didn't know I had. And I told my brother and sister to get down. I don't know what was in my voice, but they listened immediately. No questions. They just dropped. All 3 of us hit the floor. I crawled to the edge of the kitchen counter and peeked around it. That's when I watched him start to move. He stepped away from the dining room window and walked slowly toward the glass kitchen door. I lost sight of him for a moment because of the wall between the 2 rooms. Those few seconds were the longest of my life. I was absolutely terrified, shaking. My mind was racing. And then, I don't even know why I did this, I reached up and grabbed a kitchen knife from the counter. Looking back, it's almost darkly funny. I was 8 years old. What was I going to do with a knife against a full-grown man? But fear doesn't think logically. Fear just acts. Then he appeared at the kitchen door, right there, on the other side of the glass. And here's the thing that still haunts me more than anything else. He wasn't confused. He wasn't looking around like he was lost or at the wrong house. He was looking directly at me. I was crouched behind the counter, just peeking around the edge, and he was staring straight back at me. Then I watched his hand move slowly toward the door handle. My heart stopped. Please be locked. Please be locked. Please be locked. He grabbed the handle and pulled. Nothing happened. The door was locked. For 1 single second, I felt relief, and then something much worse hit me. He hadn't just been watching us through the window out of curiosity. He had walked up to the door and tried to get inside. A house where 3 children were sitting alone. I dropped the knife. I grabbed my brother and sister, and we ran. Through the house, screaming, toward the front door where my dad was. My sister was crying. All 3 of us were shouting at once. My dad was still out front chopping wood when we burst out of the house. Out of breath, terrified, I told him, "There's a man in the back garden. He's trying to get inside." My dad is not a small man. He boxed when he was younger. He spent years hunting. And the second those words left my mouth, I watched something change in his face. He grabbed the axe and ran. Not through the house, around the side of it, sprinting toward the back garden, shouting at the top of his lungs. I'll never forget the sound of his voice in that moment, the pure, raw anger in it. By the time he got there, the man was already running. He must have heard us screaming through the house, must have heard my dad charging around the side. My dad caught a glimpse of him near the bottom of the garden, already bolting toward the gate at the back. He chased him. The man ran through the gate, across the field, and disappeared into the woods. My dad ran after him, shouting the entire time, but the man had too much of a head start. Within seconds, he was gone, swallowed by the darkness between the trees. Nobody was ever caught. Nobody was ever arrested. No explanation was ever found. To this day, I don't know who that man was or what he wanted. But here's what I do know. He wasn't just passing by. He wasn't curious. He wasn't lost. He stood on that decking and watched 3 children through a window. And then he walked to the door and tried to open it. There is no innocent explanation for that. Whatever he intended that night, we were lucky the door was locked. We were lucky my dad was home. And we were lucky that an 8-year-old girl trusted her gut. Because something told me to look up from my dinner that night. And I think that something saved us. If you're watching this and something feels off, trust that feeling. Don't second guess it. Your instincts exist for a reason. Stay safe out there, and let's not meet.